Psychotic United States President Donald Trump continues to embarrass and shame the United States of America. Here's what he was posting this morning during a tantrum that he was having. He was posting photos, AI generated, of Taylor Swift holding fake Trump flags that says, "Trump won, Democrats cheated." Donald Trump has continued to say that the 2024 election is rigged. That's what he's been whining about all day and last night, saying that Vice President Kamala Harris didn't really get 75 million votes. Here, just play this clip.
But still, Kamala Harris got 75 million votes in the country.
Well, if you believe the whole thing.
Yeah, okay. Let's just say
it is ridiculous.
Then Donald Trump talks about abolishing FEMA. Here's what he posts. He says, FEMA spent tens of millions of dollars in Democrat areas disobeying orders, but left the people of North Carolina high and dry. It is now under review and investigation. The Biden-run FEMA has been a disaster. FEMA should be terminated. It has been slow and totally ineffective. Just to be clear, think about what he's been going after, right? He went after the FBI. He went after the CIA. He went after USAID. He went after the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which stops banks from engaging in, these horrible overdraft fees, and it protects consumers from all of these scams and payday loans. Donald Trump goes after FEMA. FEMA helps blue and red states. When Florida is hit with the hurricane, they rely on FEMA. When North Carolina was hit, it relied on FEMA. FEMA did its job well in North Carolina. Donald Trump continued to lie and said that FEMA was not effective, which was utterly and totally false. And now Donald Trump wants to say that there shouldn't be a FEMA at all. You know the level of disaster and death that's going to cause? No wonder also with all the instability that Donald Trump is causing this morning, the NFIB Small Business Uncertainty Index rose by 14 points, we're now learning, over the past month. This is the largest increase in the Small Business Uncertainty Index in the history of the index. But what is Donald Trump focusing on? Is it lowering grocery prices? Is it lowering the cost of eggs? Is it making housing more affordable? Is it trying to build alliances abroad to keep America safer and out of wars? Quite the contrary. Here's what Donald Trump was posting this morning, all throughout the morning at 2:43 a.m. 2:43 a.m. Granted, it's West Coast there, so West Coast time when I got it. So 5:43 a.m. East Coast. This is what he's writing. New York is the most corrupt state in the union. That is why so many businesses and people are fleeing. It's not true. We need great judges and politicians to help fix New York and to stop the kind of lawfare that was launched against me from falsely valuing Mar-a-Lago at $18 million when it's worth perhaps 100 times that amount. The corrupt judge was replaced by another judge, only to be immediately put back on the case when Democrat political leaders found out that the change of the judge was made. It has become a great embarrassment for the New York judicial system to a woman that I had no idea who she was, making a fake, ridiculous accusation to a case that was made up by a corrupt and highly conflicted judge in order to criminally attack me for political purposes. Hopefully justice will prevail as these cases make their way through the appellate system. Make New York great again, exclamation point. By the way, as you read this, you can see just the sentences are all just kind of jumbled together here. He goes and starts attacking one judge and then starts defaming E. Jean Carroll, who he was found liable by a jury of sexually assaulting E. Jean Carroll. He then further defames her right in those statements there. He then whines about his criminal conviction. I mean, this is some utterly pathetic stuff right here. And here's the thing, folks. Donald Trump listed the value of Mar-a-Lago at $18 to $26 million. The judge didn't come up with that number. It was Trump's number. Why was it Trump's number? Because Trump said this isn't a residential property. If it was, it probably would be valued at $300 to $400 million. It's still a lot of money. It's not $2 billion or $3 billion. It's a lot of money. Why did Donald Trump call it a club and not a residence? Well, one, Donald Trump wants to grift and take membership fees so he doesn't have to pay like a mortgage and pay itself. Also, if it's a club, it's valued very differently. So if it's not valued as a residence in this area, but as a social club at $18 million, then Donald Trump paid far less property tax. So if the property was, say, $2 to $3 billion, and you figure it's about 1% property tax over the course of 10, 15 years, if that's what you want to pay it. Then pay the money or try to sell it for $2 billion. You didn't pay the property tax. It was a tax avoidance scheme, and you were the one who said the price was less. So as Donald Trump engages in all of these corrupt things, it's why he's trying to revoke all of the laws that stop corrupt practices. So last night, we're learning more about it right now, Donald Trump suspended the enforcement of the FCPA, the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, which is a key anti-bribery law signed by the Carter administration in 1977. For 50 years, this was supported by this law and order. We don't want foreign governments to bribe American businesses for influences here. We don't want the Russian oligarchs to bribe American businesses, or you name the country, to bribe American businesses. It stopped corporations from bribing foreign officials and from being bribed. Trump is letting corruption run wild right now and saying, FCPA, we're not going to enforce it. We are open for bribery? We're open for bribery. We're not going to enforce the FCPA is wild. I think farmers are now recognizing how dangerous all of this is. Farmers are now on the hook for millions and millions of dollars that they were counting on and relying on based on their harvest, based on what they were growing, because a lot of their products would be used for U.S. aid. The White House had repeatedly said that the funding freeze would not affect benefits that go directly to individuals, but farmers are on the hook for millions after Trump freezes the USDA funds. Meanwhile, the Trump administration's cruelty is showing as they struggle to hit the deportation numbers that Donald Trump wanted to hit. We're now seeing images of these like ICE agents raiding like taco stands and taco shops. Not going after criminals, but like trying to create these incidents to justify engaging in, even more atrocities. So they show up in plain clothes, no warrant showed, no badge being showed, and they just show up and just start grabbing, like almost like kidnapping, just these people who are working in taco stands. We saw that in Memphis, for example. Share with me if you've got videos like that. As well. As I mentioned, they gutted the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And while all of this is going on, you've got Trump unleashing his billionaire oligarchs into the various government agencies to take your information, to take your data, shutting down the CDC websites and the NIH websites and the health websites and websites that provide all this data for these services, gutting USAID and the Department of Education and the Department of Labor and FOAA. I mean, you name it, they're doing it right here. Elon Musk has now changed his social media name to Harry Balls and says democracy is being destroyed by judicial coup. An activist judge is not a real judge. So using the name, the moniker Harry Balls, this is where we are in the United States of America, folks. So if you're watching this abroad, just fight for your democracies, because before you know it, you'll have billionaire oligarchs naming themselves Harry Balls, taking away your Social Security, your Medicare, your health care. So take that advice. Don't take democracy for granted, as many Americans did here. So now Trump and J.D. Vance and all of them are attacking all of our the judges, federal judges, Democrat and Republican judges, by the way. I mean, for example, you had a federal judge, Judge John Bates. Today, this happened, February 11th, 2025. You see it right here, right? John Bates was appointed by former President George W. Bush. This guy's John Bates. You don't get much more conservative than federal judge John Bates. Also in the USAID case, federal judge Carl Nichols, a Trump-appointed judge. You have some Democratic-appointed judges, but Judge Lamberth, Reagan-appointed judge, was the judge who blocked Donald Trump's effort to put trans women in prisons who have female genitalia into the male population in prisons to shower with the men. That was one of Trump's executive orders. Lambert said that's cruel and unusual punishment, a Reagan-appointed judge. So I just want to be clear when we talk about this, we're talking about Democratic and Republican-appointed judges right now who the Trump administration are defying and are attacking and posting photos of them. And so Musk and J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are just like, we should defy the orders. Now, the one safeguard here to think about is that the lawyers, though, who are filing these cases, they have bar licenses. They can lose their bar licenses and they may want to be lawyers. I mean, Elon Musk has more money than anything. Trump, is Trump. These lawyers, they're going to have a career afterwards. So I think they're thinking a little bit long and hard about their bar licenses. But a federal judge just moments ago ordered the Trump administration to restore public health web pages it abruptly deleted last month until further litigation plays out. So that's what we got there. Also, you got a lot of Trump supporters like this guy, Sean Strickland from MMA. This guy was one of the biggest Trump supporters. This guy would post the photos with Trump, I'm MAGA, ultra MAGA, mass deportations, yeah. Sean Strickland was like the MMA, like one of the main MMA supporters of Trump. This is what Sean Strickland just wrote moments ago. Man, if Trump keeps up this BS, I'm about to start waving a Palestinian flag. American cities are shitholes and you want to go spend billions on this dumpster fire? Did we make a mistake? This ain't America first. And he's talking about Donald Trump saying the following about that he's just going to have the Palestinians leave and America. He goes, I'm going to own it. He goes, he said, Donald Trump, I'm going to own Palestine. Here, play this clip.
But what about the Palestinians who just won't leave? Our team has spoken to many.
They're all going to leave when they have a place that's a better alternative. When they have a nice place that's safe, they're all going to leave. It's a hellhole right now.
But how are you so sure? Will the U.S. force them to leave?
You're going to see that they're all going to want to leave.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers, and thanks for watching.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 750,000 followers.